Hiya folks, I'm Grim, and welcome to Grim Grooves, a channel where I react to and review music of all kinds. Today we'll be checking out the Genshin Impact character teasers, the first 10 anyways, from Fischl to Eula, I believe. This will be fun because I'll be playing Genshin for the first time later today, and I figured this would be a good opportunity to kind of get used to or get to know some of the characters more than just seeing their initial demos and things like that, because I still don't know a lot about many of them. So it'll be interesting to kind of get to know them a little bit better. And just, these are always awesome. I mean, I've loved all the demos, I've loved all the music that I've heard, so I'm looking forward to these because it's something new I've never checked out before. But if you've got anything else you'd like me to check out, throw it down in the comments. And while you're down there, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, because it shows that you're enjoying what I'm making and I can continue making it. It also helps the algorithm, all that type of stuff. I also like to give a shout out to my Patreon supporters over there. I just did Light in the Abyss over there on Patreon for free. Everyone can check it out if you want, because of copyright issues on YouTube. But anyways, that's over there if you want to check it out. And yeah, I think it's time to get into this. So without further ado, let's check out Fischl. Can't lose just yet.
吾乃菲谢尔，断罪之皇女，漆黑尽灭的统御者。遥望蒙德，吾之领地中的小小花园，真是令人心情愉快。哼，来了吗？吾之宿敌邪龙塔斯拉克哟！吾之封印，解放！千年的争斗，就在今天画上休止符吧！大幻梦森罗万象，狂气断罪炎，让这黑暗的圣洁火焰将汝化为灰烬。正是如此。就这样，罪孽深。
Ooh, Fischl seems so cool as a character, like very much like a magical girl kind of vibe from that, like just very confident, very like powerful, and yeah, like the whole like hand over the face with the lights and stuff. That was where I got the vibe of a magical girl transformation or something like that. It's like right at the end of it or something, but still very cool. And also the music is great, like the kind of church organ coming in at the very beginning, and then we get the like the strings coming in on top of that and everything, and now we got like a little bit of an accordion, I believe, or something like that. Like, this is fantastic.
正是如此。就这样，罪孽深重的邪龙被我完美镇压。这样啊，不愧是你。
小艾米，该回家吃饭了。
爸爸，你自己先回家了。不对，本皇女是断罪的菲谢尔，谁是小艾米啊？
Interesting. So it's all in her head. She just acts like this crazy, powerful character. I mean, she probably is fairly powerful because you can obviously get her on your team and fight with her and stuff like that. But that's just really funny that she just kind of acts like this, like she has this grandiose vision of herself, and she's actually just a normal girl kind of thing. That's awesome. And let's continue. I believe next is Venti. Yeah, Venti the Four Winds. I don't know if these are exactly in order. I found a playlist that says they're in order, but if a few are a little bit off, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Still watch them all eventually.
One millennium ago, when the aristocracy fell at last from grace, the defender of the South banished tyranny from the city gates, while the West spread her wings and took her rightful place. The wanderer in the north settled with the Wolven race.
Interesting.
As the four winds blew, to all corners they flew, but much was to be done to build Mondstadt anew. The animal god called on them, each one in turn. First their leader, the West Wind, though he found himself spurned. The Lionfang Knight was less than impressed. I've no time to join you and sing, dance, and jest, for you see to these three while I handle the rest.
I love that this is like a bard song. Like, I mean, obviously Venti is a bard, but he's just essentially like almost like breaking down a bard song piece by piece to explain like what it means or something like that, almost like where the lore comes from and stuff. And there's a lot of information here. Like, I'm probably not going to retain every single little piece, but it's still really interesting to hear about. And once I play the game, obviously I'll learn more. But and also this melody, I know it's a melody I've heard before. It's something from Mondstadt. I'm not exactly sure which one it is. It might have been a one I just listened to for I don't know. It's hard to keep them track. I listen to so many songs these days, but it is a good song, and I've listened to it before. It's great. But let's keep going.
Next did he track down that leader of wolves. Asked him to tame his most unbridled of souls. The wolf leader growled he would not be contained. Do not lecture me, bard, you who are the least restrained. So the animal god implored the friend he'd known first to blow the ice from the face of the earth, that verdance and freedom could once more be birthed. But the dragon had known his bard god friend too long. He would not share the work, but dictate it through song.
Interesting.
Do some real work, Barbados.
So does that mean that Venti is a bard god, or is this just like a story he's telling? Because that's an interesting idea. That, I mean, he definitely has the vibe of that, like a trickster deity of some kind or something like that. Just from the little bits I've seen, like, he just seems very cool, very calm, very like confident in everything he's doing, and I wouldn't be surprised if he is some kind of deity, or just, again, if it's just what he's kind of saying he is. But regardless, that was really cool. And yeah, just fantastic hearing that melody again and seeing the bosses like Dwalin and all that type of stuff. Like, it's really cool to see. And just the story that's being told here is really interesting. Not sure who's next. Fleeing sunlight in the night. Don't know what that. Oh, Klee.
Hey, traveler,
Okay.
I'll let you in on a little secret. Did you know there are monsters that come out at night in Mondstadt? Shh, be quiet. I'll tell you everything, but you can't tell nobody. After everyone is tucked up cozy in their beds for the night, monsters pretending to be the Knights of Favonius come out to trick people. I can even hear their footsteps from inside the confinement room. And so, boom! I blasted the door open to defend Mondstadt from the monsters.
I love this like storybook style story that's being told by Klee because she is a child, and it makes sense that like this is her imagination. Like, it's just a smart way of doing it, and also just hearing her theme in the background earlier on, it was almost like a lullaby version of her song, like very soft, very mellow. And now that it's getting into her story, it's more like typical like Klee's theme. Like, it's great.
Boom! I blasted the door open to defend Mondstadt from the monsters. But the Master Gene who grabbed me and dragged me away was really scary. Scary like the real Master Gene, not like some monster. So strange. Anywho, you mustn't tell a soul. Kaya's the one who told me the secret about the monsters. He didn't tell nobody else but me.
Oh, Kaya, coaxing Klee into escaping from solitary confinement, it seems.
Perhaps we've made the child's studies a little too imaginative lately.
That's great. Just learning a little bit more about the dynamics there, like Kaya, like, just, yeah, telling Klee's stories about monsters, and then it creates her imagination, or gets her imagination going, and now she thinks she has to defend against all these monsters and stuff like that. Like, that's really cool.
Sir, need you personally see to such a routine matter?
Relax. I have other matters to attend to as well.
Excellent. Even if one day we can't continue business here, we can make it far away with this.
But Master, what about the debt?
Oh yes, I'm here to collect that.
Who's there?
Quick, guards! Protect the Master!
No matter what it is you owe, you can't run from your debt. Is that not the law of the god of contracts in Liyue?
Fatui! You can't just barge into a private residence! Guards! Show him how we treat unwelcome guests at Yanshang Tea House!
Not much for adversaries. Well, I could always use a bit of exercise.
This is awesome. He's always such a cool character, Childe, or Tartaglia, whatever. That makes me wonder, like, this is a bit of a meta-analysis, I guess, from my perspective, because I don't really know, but, like, this is only, like, the third or fourth character teaser, and I believe in the demos, Childe was also fairly early on, but he's also a boss called Tartaglia, right? So I'm curious if like he hid who he was, so you don't know. Like I believe he's one of the Fatui Harbingers, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like, did you know beforehand that he was like, was he on your team and like a friendly character, and then he becomes Tartaglia and he's like hiding who he is? Or maybe you fight Tartaglia very early and he becomes Childe, or I don't know exactly. Obviously I'll learn when I play. It's just something I'm curious about, because normally when you see a character this early on, it's because it's a character you'll get early on. It's like, is it a character you get on your team and like become friends with and then find out that they're Tartaglia, or I don't know. But it's really interesting because obviously here in this cutscene he's a part of the Fatui. So yeah, it's very interesting though. And also this music's fantastic. It's very like epic and very ominous, very like boss music. Like cool stuff.
Not much for adversaries. Well, I could always use a bit of exercise.
Thought that an ordinary person had a sigil of permission in their possession. It's been years since anyone has seen one of these.
Your job is debt collection, yet you failed to check what treasures he possessed that you might collect?
Apologies, a dereliction of my duty.
Enough. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
No idea what that sigil meant, but it's very interesting. Sigil of possession. That's great. Well, what's next? Zhongli, additional excitements.
This is me, fairy lady at Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. No one of importance. This gentleman beside me is our most knowledgeable consultant, Mr. Zhongli.
This Noctilucous jade is small, but a beautiful shade of translucent blue. It would be a shame not to buy it.
Yes, sir.
Pasting a windwheel aster to wet glaze before it is fired in the kiln? Fascinating. The flower turns to ash, but its shape is forever retained. Such genius. It would be a pity to not purchase this.
Yes, sir.
Core lapis is itself hard to gather. It must have taken true skill indeed to unearth two pieces so alike. We should buy them.
Yes, sir. A fine Noctilucous jade, artisan porcelain, and a pair of core lapis, and a windwheel aster as a gift for the fairy lady. Yes, he even got me a gift. Mr. Zhongli truly is an amazing person.
When Xiangling...
It definitely seems like it, like, just seems really, like, he already, everything I've seen of Zhongli seems like he's just a really cool character, like, really interesting, really, like, confident and things like that. And this just, it's really interesting to see people, like, just this little, like, side stuff, like, just him kind of assessing what he needs for different things and like buying antiquities and stuff. Like, it's just a fascinating little side detail about the world of Genshin and the kind of lives that these characters lead. And it's always really fascinating to see this type of stuff. Like, little details like this are always really super fascinating to me. Well, let's keep going.
A gift. Mr. Zhongli truly is an amazing person.
When Xiangling is cooking, it would be far more appealing to go to Wanmin Restaurant as opposed to Sinuer Kiosk or Lioli Pavilion.
I'm fine with anything so long as it's good. But do they only have chopsticks?
You will need to be adept with chopsticks if you are to truly appreciate Liyue's gastronomy.
Mr. Zhongli, we have Springvale boar on the menu today. Would you like to try it instead of the salt and pepper tofu?
We'll have both.
In accordance with Snezhnayan customs, we gave Xiangling a tip for her amazing new dish. Mr. Zhongli values friendly ties over Mora and is generous in word and deed. Well, the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor often foots the cost of his generosity.
This music's also fantastic. Like, it's very light, very peaceful. Like, even at the very beginning, it was just like very light melodies, nothing too crazy, nothing too over the top, just very peaceful. And that definitely, you get the vibe from this character. Like, he definitely seems like he has intense side for sure, but overall his mannerisms and his mindset are very like peaceful and calm and chill and stuff like that, at least what it seems to me at this point. But the melodies definitely correspond to that, and you have like little bits of kind of, I believe, Liyue soundscapes coming in every once in a while, like just little bits of that instrument that they typically use. Again, I can't remember what it is, but it just sounds fantastic. It helps round out this kind of very chill melody as well, like on top of that. It's very cool.
Well, the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor often foots the cost of his generosity.
But thankfully, the Northland Bank is bearing this particular bill.
Welcome, come in. Excluding this pair of hairpins, everything else is for sale.
They're not for sale. Why not?
These are heirlooms pawned by a poor fellow to scrounge together money for his wife's medication. I must hang on to them for him until the redemption.
I'm gonna guess that Zhongli is going to buy them and give them back to the guy who had to pawn them for his issues. He just seems like that type of person.
Money for his wife's medication. I must hang on to them for him until the redemption period expires.
Oh.
I paid off the shopkeeper and took this pair of hairpins, seeking to return them to their owner with some living expenses on the side. Please help me to conceal these expenses in our accounts, would you? I will be sure to buy you lunch. Honestly, once you become entangled with Mr. Zhongli, there's no getting away from him at all.
Yeah, definitely an awesome character, awesome person. Like, that's fantastic. Really cool to see characters like that. It's really interesting, again, just to see the kind of background life of these characters like this. Super fascinating. It's one of the reasons why I love like slice of life anime and things like that. Just getting to see the day-to-day life of characters in anime and stuff like that. It's always super interesting to me. Albedo.
Alchemy is a mysterious art that revolves around all living things, and the study of life, in particular, requires painting.
Yes, you certainly make wonderful paintings of anything that piques your interest, Mr. Albedo.
Arise, lifeless dust of the universe and that within. Thou art reborn. Do you understand now, Sucrose?
Simply amazing, Mr. Albedo.
That's also super fascinating. Like, this music is great too, but I just wanted to say, like, just the ability to manifest something from a picture into reality, like, that's really cool. I didn't think that that was what the alchemy meant in this game. There's probably more that alchemy can do and stuff like that, and an alchemist can do, but that's just a really interesting idea, being able to create something out of nothing, like create a piece of art and make it real. Always fascinating, no matter what the like medium is the story is being told, and that's always a super fascinating idea. And yeah, very cool looking as well.
And now, Sucrose.
Simply amazing, Mr. Albedo.
Next, I will paint the common V-shape. I find the carapace to be its most enjoyable feature, the intricate patterns, and even its sheen. But the rest of the V-shape is quite ordinary, and requires but a few quick brushstrokes. Voila! Arise!
This melody is also fantastic. Like, you have like the not like tambourine or something like that you can hear shaking, or something like that, maybe maracas, I have no idea. Then there's the violins and like everything else. Like, it's just such a beautiful melody overall, like very peaceful again, just like the Zhongli melodies there. Like, it's just very, very peaceful melody, very chill. And yeah, this is really cool.
Brushstrokes. Voila! Arise, lifeless dust.
Excuse me, Mr. Albedo, but I fear creating such creatures may sit outside the sphere of acceptability within our roles as alchemists.
Oh, is that so?
Just like always. Overly passionate about what piques your interest, yet completely indifferent towards anything otherwise. Your swing in interest this time didn't even leave you long enough to finish your painting.
Of course. That was great. I love how the music, like, as it almost kind of like tries to show us that he failed and things like that, the music starts to distort. It stops being just like very happy-go-lucky, and now it's like, again, distorted. And then when you get to the very end, it actually shows the creature that he created is very distorted, and it like trails off in like a very, again, disjointed way. Like, that was really cool, really funny. Like, the way that they did that was awesome. I love that. Like, MiHoYo obviously knows not like how to not take themselves too seriously and just do things for fun, and yeah, it's awesome. Ganyu.
The night scenes of Liyue, the lantern light of centuries. Only I know. that this rising star has come far in the millennium past. Only I remember the hours at which dew forms on the glaze lilies and disappears again. 106,327 heartbeats. The time that has passed since I last knew rest. Packing up the stalls, closing up the pavilions. One can almost hear the street lights going out. It is as it is night after night, ever so distant from me. The night of...
I'm fairly certain that I've heard this melody before, but it's absolutely beautiful. Like, this version I think is a little slowed down from the original version I heard. And you guys can let me know down below what actual theme this is, but it's absolutely beautiful here. Like, so touching with the background of her kind of exploring the city and things like that. Like, this is awesome. Very stylized. I love the art style here. It's really interesting, like a storybook kind of thing. Or manga, I don't know. It's very, very cool though.
So distant from me. The night of Liyue. Over. Now that you know the secrets of the night, would you accompany me to work overtime?
No way!
That's awesome. It's like almost all of these just end on like a funny note or something like that, or maybe not all of them, but many of them. Like, that's awesome. Endless suffering. Is this supposed to be here? Is that part of it? I mean, I'll watch it anyways, I guess. Why not? I'm here.
Evil takes on many forms, but always carries a karmic curse. It spawns monsters that lurk in the mountains where the Adepti dwell, preying on the living for decades. It manifests as devastating pestilences, scarring the world for centuries. It is the sworn duty of the Yaksha to purge all evil. But after millennia of bloodshed, karma takes a toll. A moment of complacency, and I too will succumb to the darkness. An instant of negligence, and it will turn me into one of the monsters I swore to purge.
He definitely gives the vibe of like an otaku who's kind of like too far into the anime sphere, and they like think of themselves as the main character of an anime or something like that. Like there's a character in The Disastrous Life of Psyche K who's very much like this. I forget his name, but yeah, he's a really funny comic relief character who believes that he's the main character of an anime, and that's who this reminds me of. Obviously this character is not just making it up, like he's actually pretty crazy and awesome, but still, it's just interesting that he has that style of character.
And it will turn me into one of the monsters I swore to purge. After millennia of suffering and endless slaughter, I now see things for what they really are.
It's a dream. That melody was also great. I'm not sure if I've heard that one before, but it was very typical kind of Liyue sounding melody there, which is very good. It's like very chill, considering it was like a backdrop for that action set piece kind of thing that was happening there, as a dream sequence or whatever. It wasn't too intense necessarily, but it was just very like, again, very chill, very mellow Liyue melody there, kind of Chinese soundscape melody. It's very good though. Not a dream? A dream within a dream?
You slept the whole day through, you know. Good thing you're awake. You're just in time for the lantern rite.
I carried you here on my back. I'll go get you some medicine now.
Chi-Chi's strong. This is also very chill melody here, like almost reminds me of like some Legend of Zelda, like Ocarina of Time music. Like it definitely has that kind of similar like piano melody to it. Very good though. I love simple piano melodies like this.
Did I scare you? Don't worry, this mask is to scare away monsters. It really works. You don't need to be afraid. Huh? Are you okay? You look tired. Grandpa, give him some rice wine pudding.
Well, hello there! Care to join me for a drink on this fine evening?
So I know I learned a little bit more about this character when I first watched his demo, but that was in the first batch of demos I watched like a month ago, so I don't remember the exact details of the character and stuff like that, but it definitely seems like he's fighting like an inner demon or something like that. Like, I think he may have brought a demon into himself or some kind of entity or something like that, and now he's like fighting with the two sides of himself. But it's a super interesting dynamic, and just fighting against the darkness like that and kind of going on a journey alone, and then you'll probably, as like in the game, you'll probably help him out and like assist him in his battle, his journey and things like that, and help him rid himself of his burden or something like that. But very, very cool.
Well, hello there! Care to join me for a drink on this fine evening? Huh? Oh, you started celebrating already. Any rice wine for me?
Sorry. Tonight. I just want to rest.
Very nice. It's good to take the mask off once in a while, even just for one night.
True. That was beautiful, especially that little scene with Venti, like, as Venti's sitting there and he's walking away, like, it just looks like that was such a good shot right there. Like, this right here, like, it makes such a good backdrop. Something like that, like a good wallpaper. Like, very good looking scene there. Like, that was very awesome. I like that one. And again, I don't know about the naming scheme, if this is kind of out of sorts, like if this was not supposed to be in this batch, I don't know. It definitely seemed a little bit like a teaser, like a character teaser, just like the others, but it's also called short trailer, so I have no idea. But regardless, it's still very cool. Hu Tao. Scared yet?
Give you a fright? Honestly, who comes to Wuhong Hill in the middle of the night? This place isn't as safe as you'd believe. Come with me. I'm Hu Tao, Wang Sheng funeral parlor director. Let me help you cross over.
Of course, she's a funeral director, but I like this like jumping back and forth between like the 3D style animations and the 2D style animations like this, like because it's really well done, like really stylized and stuff.
Tao, Wang Sheng funeral parlor director. Let me help you cross over. Yeah, help you cross over the hill, not cross into the afterlife. Huh? And why are the butterflies our guides? Well, because they want to be Sealies when they grow up. Though that walking encyclopedia Zhongli would no doubt have a completely different explanation.
It's interesting because we started with like Hu Tao's or her kind of main theme, the like spooky skeletons music, kind of almost like that, and now we're getting into just a really peaceful melody, like very peaceful, chill melody, which is very different from anything else we've heard from Hu Tao's music. So this is really interesting and very peaceful. Also, just a very beautiful scene here with the butterflies and stuff like that. Very cool.
Okay, you should be safe from here. Next time, don't go running around in dangerous places. Of course, if you really insist on adventuring, then be my guest. Adventurers are our VIP clients after all. We even have coupons for you.
Of course.
Oh
Oh, do you have a travel buddy? We're having a sale. Second client, half price.
I love that kind of, again, it makes me think of spooky, scary skeletons, the music, just because that, I don't know, just that, or even like Luigi's Mansion music is very much that kind of Halloween-y style music, and it's fantastic. I love that style of music. It's rare that you hear it. There's not a whole lot of opportunities for that kind of music to play, but it is getting into the end of September, so getting into spooky season, and I'm all for it. That was excellent. And on to the last one for today, Eula.
Thanks for sharing the table with me. To think all the other patrons are actually avoiding me. I'll remember this. Seriously, they care that much about my lineage? Even if I were out for vengeance, they'd have to wait their turn.
Jazzy interlude there, that's awesome.
The Gunhilder clan, the Roggenvinder clan, and the Lawrence clan are the three most prominent families in Mondstadt's history. Among them, the Lawrence clan became blinded by their desires, plunging Mondstadt into a dark era under the aristocracy's oppression. In time, Lady Vanessa overthrew the aristocracy and established the Knights of Favonius, while the Lawrence clan quickly fell into obscurity.
This is fascinating. It's like a full lore breakdown of Mondstadt here, almost, which is exactly the type of thing that I guess I could use, like a bit of a primer going into playing the game for the first time. Obviously, as I play the game, I'm going to learn everything. Like, I love the lore of games. Like, so I'm the type that I'll try and find everything I can and like fully immerse myself into that type of thing. So this is super interesting to see, and I'm glad that we were able to get this at the end of this video, because it just adds to that. And also, again, that little jazzy interlude at the very beginning was fantastic. I always love a good like jazzy section. That piano was excellent. Like, it's just so good. And now we're getting a little bit of lore breakdown, which is cool.
And established the Knights of Favonius, while the Lawrence clan quickly fell into obscurity. Over the next 1,000 years, their flame of vengeance continued to flicker and burn, but never again did it ignite into a blaze. Perhaps the finishing blow to the Lawrence clan was she who is known as the Spindrift Knight, most gifted descendant of the Lawrence clan, Eula, joining the Knights of Favonius. Although the word vengeance is always upon her lips, she has proved time and again that she is a kind-hearted and honorable ally.
Hey, when a noble woman is speaking, you are to lower your drink and look her directly in the eyes. You really ought to learn some proper etiquette.
It's super interesting that she's like from this distinguished line who was disgraced in the past because of the warring factions and stuff like that. Super interesting to like add so much more to the character than just like kind of noble woman that can fight, or a noble knight or whatever. Super interesting, and I can't wait to learn more about these different factions and the different kind of everything. Honestly, I can't wait to learn about everything for this game. I'm excited. I'm excited. Let's keep going.
In the eyes. You really ought to learn some proper etiquette. I bet it's that Gunhilder girl talking about me behind my back again. Mark my words, vengeance will be mine.
That's awesome. It's like wants to get vengeance, but she's too good of a person probably, and so she like won't actually go against people who kind of spurned her family name in the past or were against her family in the past. But yeah, that was awesome. And I'm guessing that she was probably talking to your main character, the Traveler. It kind of looked like his arm, maybe, I don't know. But that was really cool. Like, it's fantastic. Like, all of these were just, like I said before, I love like slice of life anime and things like that, especially comedy slice of life, because it just, I don't know, there's a lot of peaceful, chill moments, and there's a lot of story that can be told in like the moment-to-moment like lives of people in these worlds and in these stories and stuff. And I always love that. I love just like, again, learning about the moment-to-moment life as opposed to just all action all the time, and that's all you focus on is like the big adventure, which is cool too, don't get me wrong, I love that as well. But it's just nice to get like, it's just a different side of the story that you rarely get to see. Well, more nowadays, of course, because there's just so much anime out there and stuff like that. But in stories like this, in video games, like, it just helps to round out the world and make it more lively, more realistic, and it's awesome to see. Like, I've loved all these, honestly. Like, it's so cool to see these, and I'm definitely gonna look into more. Like, I can't wait to see how they grow over time too, because I'm assuming, similar to the character demos, that they'll continue to grow in quality, and the animation quality will get better, and the music and all that type of stuff, like, which is already fantastic. Don't get me wrong. Like, what we just watched was all exceptional. Like, I'm not saying like there's anything wrong with any of the stuff we just watched, because that was awesome. I really enjoyed it. But I'm just excited to see how much better it gets over time, because I'm sure that's just going to get better and better, because it's just what they do. But anyways, thanks for hanging out, watching my reactions. If you liked it, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. And until next time, later days, folks.